Hello and welcome, my friends, my yarn loving, knitting, and crocheting friends out there. Doc here from Albuquerque in New Mexico. Long time no see, and I'm so glad to be sitting here and chatting with you all again after taking such a long break. Sorry about that. Sometimes life happens and you got to put stuff on hold and sort priorities, and now my priority is to be back here with you and have a nice chat about everything I have done in the past weeks with you. I hope you're all doing good, and I hope you're all still working on your knits. Are you a summer knitter? I knit year round, and I always knit with wool and most of the time, but I was really happy to finish this sweater recently, and I know I showed you the sweater, but in the meantime I have woven in my ends. So here it is. This is my own design, and nothing fancy. Just did two with I held two sock yarns together, and I made it with 4.5 millimeter needles, and I used leftover sock yarns from my mom, and I had made the same sweater for my brother, and I am happy that now we both have a sweater with yarns that was touched by our mother. Very meaningful and very personal. So yes, I'm going to take this off because it is blazing hot. Not necessarily here in New Mexico, even though I have to say, in case you wonder how the weather is, we have gorgeous sunshine and it warms up quite a bit during the day, and then it cools down at night still quite a bit, but it's really has been lovely, and it has given us a taste for spring. If you wonder what I'm wearing, in case you haven't seen this, I made 3 sweaters with just single held hand-dyed yarns. I want to say it's been almost 2 years. I made this short sleeve, I made a half sleeve and a long sleeve one, and again, I figured out the way I want it with the open neckline, and yeah, in different color themes. This was obviously the blue and green one, and yeah, I love it. I love all 3 of them. But now, right now, good weather for a short sleeve sweater. Let me put this aside. Yeah, I'm really glad it's done. I was wearing it the other day when I headed out, and it was chilly, and it was just perfect. Yes. Have you all been tackling your UFOs, your unfinished objects? We have a make-along running, and it has been extended because we need it until the end of April. So yes, we are finishing UFOs. And it's funny because a podcast popped up for me this morning where it's like, oh, how to avoid UFOs. And I'm like, I don't care. You know, I have as many UFOs as I want, and they do not bother me. So I don't really, yeah, I'm gonna keep going, keep doing what I'm doing, but also at the same time, I love having an event like this that encourages me to look at what's on the needles and what have I possibly not touched in a long time. So let's start with those projects. But also, I did have a question for you guys. Yes, I am very curious. How are you when you watch a podcast? Are you okay with a long one, or would you rather have a shorter podcast? Because right now at this point, I have a lot of things that I want to show you. I am also planning to spin yarns, and I have gotten back into rug hooking, and there's a lot that I would like to show you, but I feel like, oh my God, it's going to be a 2-hour podcast. I mean, not literally, but like a very long podcast. And I feel like, maybe it's a good idea to break it up into shorter segments. So I'm definitely not going to include anything knitting, like the new braids that I got, and definitely not going to include the rug hooking today. But I thought, hey, guys, please do me a favor, pause the video right now and comment for me, short or long. I mean, tell me something about how you do it, how you watch it. Maybe some people say, oh, hey, I want to watch it all in one stretch, and that's why I like shorter ones. Other people maybe say, oh yeah, you can put out a 2-hour one and I'll just take a break whenever I need to, which for me hasn't been that practical anymore. I used to be that way, but not anymore. So, okay, right now, pause and leave me a comment. I'd really appreciate that. Also, if you'd give me a thumbs up, same appreciation, because then people can find me. As you may guess, because I'm in my living room and it's in the afternoon, you're going to say, wait, isn't your husband at home? Yes, he would be if he was not in Australia right now. Lots of personal reasons why I didn't go. And I am sad that I didn't go. But on the other hand, I am, personal reasons also why I missed Winslow, the knitting retreat. And I realized I really missed meeting you guys. I was so much looking forward to, for example, reconnect with Eileen, who is almost my neighbor now. She's in Santa Fe, and she was going this year and I had to cancel. So I was really sad about that. And but next year, hopefully, if there's another Winslow, Arizona knitting retreat, I will hopefully see you all there. And thank you again to my friends who offered to bring my yarn and to vend for me. And thank you to those of you who shop my yarns. So thank you for that. I have, and in regards to shop, I don't know if you're curious, but I haven't updated the shop in a long time. In fact, I really kind of shut down the shop because I thought I was going to go to Australia. But now I do have to reopen, and I have planned that a lot of those yarns that have been sitting there for a long time will go on sale. And so, yes, but peek into the shop, ziaroos.com, if you are in the market for some discounted yarns. And what was the other thing? I just thought of something else. And now it's gone again. There's so much. This is the problem when I haven't talked to you in a long time. There's a lot of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yes, now I know. In regards to the make along, please don't forget, join the Ziaroos group on Ravelry. Pop in the original status of your UFO, and you be the judge. What's a UFO? And then also pop in the finished thread your finished object then eventually. I mean, it's always nice when you chatter in a group, but in this case I say not necessary. Just give anything you like a heart, because then it's harder to when I do the giveaway at the end of April, and then it's harder to pick per people, because I want to pick from the finished objects and not from the chatter. Yes, and also, what else? I'm gonna grab my glasses so I'm not forgetting about anything, because there was a bunch of stuff. Yes, there are a few podcasters that have been joining in with the knit along, but none. Sorry, I just knocked down something. But nobody, no American, no English speaking podcasters. So I will talk about those in the German version of this podcast. Okay, let's get going. What have I been working on? You're not gonna believe it. I am finally tackling the Power Flower top. This is a pattern in German, again, by a wonderful German knitwear designer and also podcaster. I do not believe that this is published in English, unfortunately. Mine here, I have made a major change in the compared to the original pattern, which is I am knitting this part. In the original pattern, it is crocheted. Yes. And I have to say, at the time that I picked it back up, I was just, did I put a marker? Yes. This is where I was. One of the beautiful markers of a German friend of mine. She makes these from glass. And so I confess, this was hard initially, because I'm like, oh my gosh, to go all the way around and row after row, and I got so tired. And then I'm like, come on, it's just freaking knitting. So I kept going. And yes, I'm getting somewhere. Yeah. And I had 2 balls of this turquoise, and I have faded the second ball in here. I'm not sure if that would have been necessary. Now I feel like it's maybe a tad lighter, because this is the section about 2 inches where I did the transition, but I'm probably only going to see it when I'm completely done with this. But I'm excited because it's going to be ready for spring, hopefully soon. So I've really been working on this. I've also been working on another one that I did want to tell you, 3.5 millimeter needles. That's what I'm using here. But I struggled also with this other project, and that's why it's clearly also been a UFO. And it's the shirt, if you want to call it that, but it's a wool yarn in my own hand dyed, and the yarn, the colorway is called Sterntaler. I hope it's in focus. I cannot really tell. Again, my design, horrible notes that I did 2 years ago. Oh my gosh. Right now, I am at the point where I know I have to increase for the little sleeves here, and I can't find anything. I did not write down a single thing. I may check one more notebook, but so far, what I keep is, did I bring it? No. I keep a spiral bound large notebook where I write down, it has like my knitting designs, so I can distinguish it from anything else that may be floating around in the house. But yeah, whatever I found, it's not the right stuff. It's only how I did the sleeves here, because I did short rows. I don't know if you can see. Well, it's probably not very easy to see. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to end this, but this is the back, and I'm going to do a larger neckline, probably more round downward, not like this here, and then I may do a 3-needle bind off. So, and this is where I am. I am at the point where I have to figure out how to do this. Yes. 3mm needles, 170 stitches. Yes. It is a labor of love, and that's okay. That's okay. And my project lives in a bag that I have made many years ago, vintage fabric, and I love these sheep. My friend Doris brought me a couple of yards that she knew I'd love it because I love sheep. Yes, I'm a knitter. I love sheep. So that is the Stanthaler sweater. Oh, I did bring the notebook. See, I couldn't see it. Yeah, this is how it looks like. Yeah. So, two UFOs that are being pushed. And then another one was this one. This is a lace shawl, and I have figured out that first of all, actually, now that I'm touching it, I realize I think it needs to be a little bit warmer, because as it gets warmer, my hands are not as dry. So right now I'm getting stuck on the yarn. But it's a favorite color. I'm looking forward to having this. And in fact, this is one of the things that I am dyeing up right now. Not necessarily this, but some lace yarns. And that's one of the things that you'll be finding in the shop soon. The pattern is called, sorry about the rustling, and you're going to say, why do you have everything in plastic? So ugly. Yes, it is ugly, but for me, the advantage is that I can see what's there, and I can I feel more inclined to pick up the project. That was my thought process. Yeah. Don't know, is it working? No, because all of this was upstairs in my daughter's room, but now that my husband is out of town, I have the living room covered in everything fiber arts, and also over there by the dining room table is everything paper arts. Yes, it's fun. And here's the pattern for the shawl. Yeah. I remember I fell in love really hard with this pattern when I saw it, and I thought, I need to have this. So hopefully, eventually, yes. And I have another lace UFO. That one is actually in a project bag. Not sure why. One of mine yet again. And This one at least says it on the outside, what the pattern is. And it is, I laminated the chart. And I wonder, oh, chart 1, chart 2. Okay, I was just getting scared. I thought, where am I? Why is there no marker? But there is a marker. I use this red tape to mark the row where I'm at. And last time I showed you this, I was not quite that far along. Am I farther along? Yes, I am. And is it significant? No, but do I love it? Yes. Yeah, I just have to say, the reason why I wanted to make this shawl is I saw a sample at my yarn store, and I thought, I want this in lime green. And the pattern is called the Rafaga shawl, and it's a Malabrigo pattern. And I think it's probably easy to change the size. This is another one of my own lace yarns, and I do not know where the label is. Maybe I didn't even make one, but it's been so long. Yeah, I'm excited about this. So I think at some point I'm going to pick up one of these two and just continuously keep working on it. Next. Oh yes, I have 2 sad stories. Sad UFO stories. Remember my other little, okay, this is the Alwool's sugar loaf, and this is the other Barbie shawl that I had started, which is the Bistro shawl. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I gotta tell you, I was really very much in love with the edge because it is a, what's the word? Zopf. Braid? Is it a braid? No, I don't think that's what the word is. Wortfindungsstörung. Well, whatever it's called. It's a 3 stitches cross, and so you have to have a needle, an extra needle. And initially I was so much in love with the effect and with the idea, and I thought it was genius. And then after a while I'm like, oh my God, this is so annoying that I cannot do this without this needle. So yes, my friends, I will abandon this. This will be ripped out, and you will then see if I start a new pattern, which I have already chosen, a very simple shawl called a sage leaf shawl. Yeah. By Azita Krebs. But it is an English pattern, and it has a chart. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. I don't have allergies, but yet again, my nose has been running, and this is allergy seasons in Albuquerque. So I wonder, because sometimes you can get them later, even after years. So I wonder, yeah, just in case you wonder. What has she been doing? All right, so this was the story of a whip. And then here's another sad whip story. So I have 2 lace shawls that will be continued, and then I have 1 shawl that will not be continued, and sadly not continued. Man, this is a crazy story, people. Hold on. A podcasting friend has recently shown a sweater, and she's a German podcaster yet again. And she has recently shown how she flipped the pattern and made a color work sweater top down. And people, seriously, I have so many regrets about not having done the same thing, because then I wouldn't be where I am right now. I am gonna whip this out or give it away. So, well, it is a sad story. So here you go. This is the Shetland Trader High Desert Yoke, beautiful sweater, beautiful yarn that I brought from a trip from Wyoming where I visited the fiber mill. And now what happened, you're gonna say, well, for one, like I said, I wish I would have just reversed the pattern. It should not have been too hard. And then yarn management, so much easier, because I just really don't know how much yarn I have and how long my sleeves are gonna be, how long I can make the sleeves. But mainly, you're not making any stupid mistakes like I did. Oh, this is, okay, there's a bunch of things. Look at this. It's short and it's very wide. What? Too wide for me. You see, I have already pulled the needles. And sleeves, but here came the real disaster. I think otherwise I may have finished it, but I was already getting really tired of it. And I was uncertain about the width of the body. And then I finished the sleeves and, okay, I'm ready to join. Joining when you knit bottom up is also a pain in the butt. Seriously, it's really hard because, I mean, anybody who knits can imagine why. Yeah, and here I am. I got 2 sleeves, and guess what? I was already getting so tired, and then I'm like, wait, what's something is not right here. I'm counting my stitches, and one of the sleeves was off by, I don't know, 4 stitches. I don't know what happened. If it was maybe the cast on, no idea. But at that point, the problem knitting in the round from the bottom up, joining everything, having a sweater that's really oversized, but then at the same time short. And I'm not a dress person, so I love it when people style that way with a wide dress and then have a cropped shirt over it, sweater over it. Not me, unfortunately, even though I think it's the cutest ever. And then a mistake where I have to reknit the sleeve, and that was the end of it. And now I really don't know what I'm gonna do with the yarn, because the yarn is beautiful. It's good memories, but it's not a drapey yarn. So it's not really for a shawl. So stay tuned. I may do a giveaway or whatever. I haven't decided yet. I think I wanted to do a giveaway, but then I'm like, oh, maybe not. The yarn is so beautiful. I mean, this color is just stunning. So I'll see. Yeah, sad, but that's the way it is sometimes. Another thing which actually should count as a finished object is my hat. And it will be called the Duke City hat. And I already showed you when I was working on it that it is a little bit smaller than is my preference, but you're gonna say it still fits, and it sure does. Oops. Yep. But it is so tight. I just don't like my hat so tight. So, it's a good thing because it's my pattern and I have to knit all the sizes. And yep, this one is done and I just love the color. Yeah, and I have plenty of yarn that I could still, I can make another one in the same colors and gift this or have it as a shop sample, even though this one is my yarn, this one is not my yarn. And sorry guys, it's all assembled for my knitting notebook. And yes, I'm so excited. I finally got in touch with Brooke of Red Barn Collections. She's a sweetheart. And she, even though she's moving from Salt Lake City to Vermont, she still did my albums, no, not albums, my books, my spiral bound books for me before her big move. And so they are in transition right now, somewhere between Salt Lake City and here. And I'm so happy about that. So I'm very grateful. She's not a knitter, but if you watch Brooke, thank you so much. Yes, and I have started a little box with all this stuff for the new knitting notebook, which I will show you then. Another project, I have two, my most exciting projects otherwise are, for one, the Moab shawl, where yet again, I have no clue what I did with the pattern. I don't know. It's somewhere, let me see, is it down there? No. Is it here? Yes, it is. It is a pattern by Very Busy Monkey. Sorry. Yeah, and it's really cool because she gives you 3 different variations on the lace edging, which I find very cool, and they're all charted. So let me organize myself. This is where I am right now. And it's very simple. Before you get to the edge, of course, where I am not, but I think I'm using 4mm needles, and the yarn is as soft as butter. I love this so much. And fittingly, the yarn name is The Lover. It's such a great colorway, and at some point when there were 3 skeins that had not sold, I'm like, you're mine, baby, come to mama. It's a sport weight yarn, and it is alpaca Let me read that for you so I don't mess up like last time. It is baby alpaca and merino. I thought it had silk because it was so soft, but it does not have silk. Yeah, and the base is called Desert Candy. So yummy. Yes, and I think I'm gonna keep knitting a little bit longer before I start the edge. So I have a nice and decent size shawl. What else? Oh, now comes my Be Still, my Be Still My Heart project. And I am talking about my Björk raglan. Oh, you guys, I love it so very much. Yeah, what can I say? 7mm needles for one. One of the yarns is over there. And the other one is, so I'm going to get that in a second for you and show it to you. But this is what I started off with. 2 giant balls of this yarn that my friends Dick and Martin had gotten for me in Estonia. And so I thought, what am I going to do? They were told that the yarn is going to be fine for a whole sweater, but honestly, I was doubtful. And so when my friend showed me the sweater she made, this pattern, I thought, oh, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I struggled a little bit with the colors, but then I decided on this. And I had initially a fingering weight yarn in a green, not quite as bright as mine now, but that was too thin because it was really interesting that the bluish yarn it requires a bigger needle than the other yarns required. So I did hold this together with a fingering yarn. And then I thought, okay, let's try a worsted weight. And I have added this as a new base now. And it's worsted weight Pioneer. I love this yarn. I do love both my worsted yarns, but this one really very, very lovely. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between the two. I should compare them, my Duke base and this one. But the biggest difference is that Duke has 4 ounces and this has 100 grams. Yeah, knits up so lovely held with this. So right now I am on the second ball of this. This is Zia Wool's Velvet, a lace weight yarn, 50 grams per skein, baby alpaca silk. And this is the second ball of the worsted weight. And yeah, you see where I am. So right now, the reason I haven't started the sleeves yet is that I did all kinds of stuff instead of winding this, my third skein, but now it's wound as you saw. Okay, now let me go and get the ball of yarn, the bluish. Yeah, I decided on the lime green because I love the combination of turquoise-ish and lime green. And in fact, I was actually surprised that there is not that much turquoise in that whole skein, but it started off with the turquoise. But it's really so nice to, so interesting the way it makes the sweater look. hold on. My fancy knitting container. Sourdough pretzels. And one of those where I'm like, okay, let's put it in a clear container so it gets actually worked on. And this is the yarn. I do not know if it's available in the US, but I would think, why not? Because Lang yarns are around in the States. Yeah. I am probably going to keep knitting on this tonight. And I do have one more skein of the lime green, and I do have one more skein of the worsted weight pioneer yarn, and yeah, definitely enough yarn. Okay, what next? Just one more project. Oh, wait, as usual, I forgot to give you the needle size. This has been flying off my needles because I'm using 7mm needles. Yes, that goes fast. And one more thing, because I kept getting confused a little bit with the pattern. So where I am in the pattern, so I printed out a little bit a part of the chart, and whenever I passed a certain row, I marked that off with an X, and I have it on a little clipboard here, so that worked very well. And I don't think I showed you the pattern, did I? The designer handle is Woodlands Knits. And my friend did make the sweater in black and white, which also looks beautiful. I'm just not a black and white person. But I did, oh yes, my goodness. I need to tell you one thing. I made one change. The neckline. I did it in a way where it's a tiny bit wider than in the original design. And what she does is she puts the beginning of the round at the raglan, which I don't know, I didn't like it because I had to rip out the whole thing. And so next time I started it with the beginning being in the back, and I like it much better. You could probably tell where the beginning of the round is because I didn't do anything fancy. Like, for example, Marina of Strawberry Patches podcast. Sorry, Marina. She just did something super fancy. So you do not, I think she used that technique for socks. So you don't see the change in colors, but I didn't care. It's in the back, I don't see it. Last project is, what do you think? What do you think? Yep, another pair of Duke City mitts. I sell these on at the High Desert Studio Tour, and this time around I sold a lot of them, and I am almost how many? I have only maybe 6 pairs left. So a friend reminded me to maybe not wait till the last second to get going on these, but maybe make 2 pairs a month or so. And I thought, oh, great idea. And I was digging into my yarns, and what I picked is, what are Duke City mitts even, you may say? If you're new, Duke City mitts, my pattern free on Ravelry, and fingerless mitts. These are so lovely. I got this yarn many years ago. It's vintage stash, literally vintage stash. I got the yarn and I thought it was kind of like, I don't know. It was a little bit too firm for my taste for anything, for a shawl, for example. And then it's from Haute Knit Yarn. I don't even know how that is said. I can only say it in German, in the French way, I should say. Haute Knit Yarn. But yeah, and so I have quite a few mohair yarns. I don't do mohair for garments, but for fingerless mitts, I think they're extremely lovely. It's lovely. It gives you a wonderful result, a soft mitt, and a really pretty look to add mohair. And I decided on this. Yeah, lovely. I'm not quite sure if it's like a longer repeat now of that grayish green mohair or not, how it's gonna work, but I'm just gonna keep going and then start the second one. And I have already prepared 2 more bundles for fingerless mitts. Let me get them. I left them just without reach. Can I talk? Just out of reach. I've been living in this country for 27 years. I should be able to speak English without making a serious mistake, like I just did. Sorry, had to be said. And if you recall, I had planned to start a purple birds of a feather shawl, which I still have not done. It will happen eventually. So I picked up this, which had been a gift from a friend, and it was very pale pink, and at some point I overdyed it a little bit. It is a DK weight. Yeah, that's what I thought. The other one was, the green one that I just showed you was Sport, and I'm using 4mm needles and started off with 4 times 8 stitches. So for these, I think I may switch to 4.5mm needles. Yeah, not sure about the stitch count yet. Oh yeah, I found this itty bitty guy, and I think it's the same yarn. Yeah. And the other bundle is with this yarn. This is a Malabrigo Rios. And the colorway is Diana. Beautiful. You may say, Doug, are you crazy? You're using a yarn that costs $20+ in the store, and you are holding it with another $15 yarn, and you're asking $37 for the finished pair of mitts. Yeah. I was super lucky with this yarn. I found it at my thrift store for the incredible price of $4.99, including a bunch of other yarns where I don't know where they what they were and where they went. Somewhere swallowed up by my stash. Yeah. And here I will be using all kinds of leftovers, which is also a nice thing to do. So I'll keep you posted on these. Not sure when I'll start them, but I thought I'd show you. I wish I could find a way to encourage people to put their Duke City mitts as a project with a photo, so more people find it. But I don't know how you would do a giveaway. I don't know. But there will be another Duke Mania starting in September, where it's going to be a knit along for the Duke City mitts. And then by then, maybe I have figured out something how I can encourage you, if you want to make them, to put them on their own project page. Okay, that was this. And now we are done, except for my gorgeous new yarns. I had purchased a goodie bag for the retreat in Winslow, and even though I didn't go, I got my goodie bag, and this is what was in it. I kind of expected it would be only one skein of yarn, but it ended up with both. Yeah, that was a nice surprise. This is the Turquoise Room, which is named after a room at the La Posada Hotel in Winslow, and this one is called Arizona Sun. So also, of course, in honor of our location, the Knitting Retreat location. And it's a blend of 90% superwash targi, I think that's how it's pronounced, and 10% recycled nylon. I wonder if that's a base that I used to carry. If it is, I haven't dyed this up in a very long time. It's a 4-ounce skein of 113 grams, as you may know, and it has 465 yards. I would love to combine these two, but I don't know. I get the impression that it's kind of like a firmer yarn that is very suitable for something like socks, but not so much a shawl. Let's see. I'll have to knit up a sample. And by the way, it is right now Mardi Gras time in Germany, Fasching as it's called. And so I think people are really partying this weekend. I hope I'm not totally off and it's already Ash Wednesday passed. I don't think so. I think it's right now. So I will put on my little camouflage for the German podcast, for the Germans who watch this now. And so I thought I'd show you this because it's just hilarious. I found a hat that I had also thrifted, and I had bought it because I thought maybe, even if I could tell that it's way too big, but then I thought, oh, maybe I can rip it out and make something different with the yarn. It very much looks like hand-spun Angora with all that fuzz, but I look hilarious with these old-fashioned, old-style readers, which I love, by the way. I do wear them, but for serious. But with this hat, it's just a hoot, don't you think? Okay, and now I will let you go with this funny picture. I hope you get a good laugh from it. And I wish you well. Have a good start into the spring. And yes. Happy knitting. Bye.